Good morning, good day, or good evening to everybody who tuned in to Eltex World YouTube channel. Thank you for joining our webinar, and sorry for a little bit of a delay. We are here to talk about an exciting topic, a hot topic. We are going to talk about video surveillance and access control and how we at Eltex managed to put this into one complex solution with software and hardware components. My name is Alexey Maslov. I'm a product manager at sales department at Eltex.
And my name is Dmitriy Pinchuk. I'm engineer at IoT Service Center.
Thank you for joining me, Dmitry. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. So what are we going to talk about today, Dmitry?
We are going to talk about security system that needs both hardware and software solutions. We will go through hardware side. We will show you video surveillance camera, their characteristics and how they are working at our platform. We will go through a software side. We will discuss AV platform, how to set up, monitor and manage all these devices. And a significant part of our webinar will be dedicated to access control and how it blends into the picture of our security system.
Thank you for the introduction, Dmitry. Yes, we've come a long way at Eltex. Back 4 or 5 years ago, when we initially decided to replace some of the components of our internal video surveillance with our own manufactured hardware and software to what we have now, and we are going to show you all the bits and pieces that made it possible. We'll start with hardware, and the key components when it comes to hardware is definitely the actual cameras. The cameras we have right now is a range of about 4 devices, but these devices are by far the most commonly used in the projects. I guess about 90%, except if the projects are really niche, would be these types of the cameras. So we started with the most common, the cylindrical and the turret tape cameras. We actually have a turret camera right here with us. Dmitry will show you. The models that we introduced initially were the SVBA 301 and SVBA 314. And the reason why these models stand out is because of the build of the way they built, the very high quality build, and the metal casing. You can actually hear it. It's not plastic. It's very sturdy and nice metal body. And the fact that all the cameras have E at the end of the model basically means that these are wired cameras. So they're all Ethernet. They all PoE compatible, and all these cameras starting with revision B are compatible with both PoE mode A and mode B. So pretty much any PoE switch or PoE injector will be capable of powering those cameras. And the revision B also features upgraded, bigger in size image sensor on all these cameras. The 301 and 314 cameras, and also the newly introduced 331, which is anti-vandal version, or extremely protected version of the dome camera. They have identical optics, identical image sensor throughout all the range. So most of the specs are similar, except anti-vandal camera has IK10 protection level against physical damage. So it's usually installed in the locations where there is a high chance of getting damaged. And last but not least, our fresh edition, it will be available for order in a few weeks time, but you can see it is a significantly larger camera due to the fact that it's varifocal. So varifocal means that the camera has a lens with variable focal distance. So the camera can change its focal distance from, I believe, 2.7 all the way to 13.5 inch, making the viewing angle significantly different, and it makes it possible to zoom in and out without the loss of quality. This camera comes in two variants, with 2 and 4 megapixel, and with the 4 megapixel camera has also much bigger image sensor. Because of the different architecture, the camera, you can see that it's no longer named SVBA, it's called SVBB. So this B letter means that it's got more powerful CPU, allowing us to offer true WDR on this camera. So other models have digital wide dynamic range, whereas this one has a hardware wide dynamic range. And very briefly, I'm going to announce our varifocal camera dome-shaped. So this one is also, it's very similar shape-wise with the turret camera, but it's going to be about twice as large, again, because of the varifocal optics. So it has very similar characteristics to the other varifocal camera, and we're going to have first units of this camera at the end of the year. And with that, we're going to talk about a piece of equipment that comes in handy when you have projects with just few dozens of cameras. So not all the projects require that large number, and sometimes it makes no sense dedicating a server for this purpose, and potentially we may get away with a network video recorder.
Yes, we announced NVR video recorder. It has 16 channels, 2 hard drive slots with up to 14 terabytes capacity, multiple HDMI and VGA ports for monitoring connection and for organizing video wall. It is coming in autumn 2026 and can be used in projects with up to 50-100 cameras.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. This is the very common request that we are getting from our customers that have small and medium businesses, and this piece of equipment is ideal for organizing video archive, storing those this video footage on the hard drives, as well as the workplace of security guard, allowing them to view the video streams on the monitors. And speaking of hardware, the last but not least piece of hardware that we'd like to tell you about is the controller. So this controller is required specifically for the projects that involve access control. Whenever you have an access point where you want to have a turnstile, a barrier, a door that only can be opened based on the access card or facial recognition, an access control, a controller comes into play. And even though at Eltex we don't really make all these card readers and access control active equipment like turnstiles and gates and barriers, you can use third-party equipment. You need to equip access points with the controller and connect that equipment to this controller. So the controller is a bridge that connects security system, EVI platform in this case, with all this third-party equipment. Can you tell us a little bit more about what controller is capable of?
Yes. Now, at our security system, we are using one type of controller, which is named IPA IR020. It fully supports two relays, has Vigant and RS485 protocol support. It is fully integrated within our software platform that can be managed to read, reset. Platform can reset, update controllers, regulate access schedule, access levels, and calendar levels. Later we show you a real case example of this controller in action.
Thank you, Dmitry. So with that, we are wrapping up on our hardware, and we are going to introduce you our platform for video recording, video analytics, and access control. So this platform has modular structure, which means that you only use modules that you want to utilize in your project. Briefly speaking, perimeter is the module that comes into play when you want to organize video recording. It is doing all the things related to video feeds. Analytics is making the system a little bit smarter, but analyzing video feeds. And SCOD, please don't be confused because of the name. Is just the Russian term for PACS, Physical Access Control System, and it's only required when you want to organize access control at your premises. So for regular video recording, you probably won't need this part, but because the system is capable of, we of course covering this too. So now we are going to go in a little bit more detail about each and every module. So with EVI perimeter, as I said, it's doing all things related to video feeds, but also giving you this nice user interface for managing the system. Dmitry will tell you the rest.
Yes, EVI perimeter is the base core of our system. Here we can set up the video surveillance. We can regulate camera connection and setup, control recording schedule and archive retention period. We can manage archive search and permission restrictions and set permission restrictions. For example, we can restrict security roles with available cameras that they only can watch. There is also a special feature, interactive plan, for device placement, monitoring, and rapid response. On this plan, you can place devices, take the picture of your storage room, floor of the building, and other stuff. And if something happens to the device, you will be notified at the interactive plan and react immediately.
Yeah, exactly. This interactive plan gives you nice feedback from the system on what's going on, because these little icons here, it's pretty small unfortunately, but trust me, those icons, when you see it full screen, give you the status and the type, whether it is an access point, a camera, a sensor, and you can get straight away and open, for instance, open this camera or open this this door or barrier, and it pretty much takes the control of the system at your fingerprints. The access control module, again, it's called SCOD. It's only it's only required when you want to organize checkpoints at your perimeter, and this one also there is a user interface for the manager of the system that gives you a wide range of capabilities.
Yes, the main purpose of EVI SCOD module is the setup and management of all our controllers. With this system you can manage list of users and workers, give or restrict access to rooms and facilities on your territory, set, for example, lists of faces and car numbers for use in video analytics, which we will discuss further, and it has convenient and intuitive interface which you can widely use.
Yes, and as I said, at Eltex, we have access control at our organization both for the buildings and for the parking lots, and this system makes it very easy to manage whether you're using access cards or if you also using facial or number plate recognition. We're going to talk about the analytics, the ways to utilize video feeds from the cameras for access control right now. So I know that there are two main types of analytics, basic and advanced. So what's the difference between them?
Yes, but there is two types of analytics, basic and advanced, and basic analytics includes motion detection, line crossing, and entering and exiting a zone. As for advanced analytics, it contains face recognition and plates number recognition.
Right, and by the way, I'd like to remind you that we have a chat on YouTube for this webinar, so whenever you have a question, please do not hesitate to drop a line. I will answer your question at the end of this webinar. So with analytics, yeah, I see that there are basic and advanced sets of those analytics, and we're now going to cover them a little bit in more detail. So starting with the most basic, when you say video analytics, first thing that comes in your mind is motion detection.
Yes. In motion detection, this is a basically basic module in our arsenal. Through it, you can set up an area on the camera through the platform, and if any motion detected on it, for example, it's a human or a car, the operator gets notification, archive recording start, or an alarm. These all three actions can be set through our platform. For example, an alarm would trigger on a motion in a restricted area. This type of analytics works with all cameras, and you don't need dedicated GPU to try it out. You can also see on the video that there is a motion detected and notifications appear on the screen of an administrator. There can also, these actions can be also set for a security.
Yeah, that's great, and I like the fact that, as Dmitry said, it does not require a dedicated GPU because it gets initiated from the camera, and GPU, when it comes to complex video surveillance systems, is one of the most expensive parts, and you may get away with motion detection without actually having a graphic processor on your server. So for a little bit more advanced analytics, but still counted as basic, we have this basic analytics package. When you talk about licensing, this package licensed per camera. So if you want something a little bit more advanced than motion detection, you go for basic analytics package for a certain number of cameras. And Dmitry, can you tell us what does this package include?
Yes, this package includes certain types of analytics like entering or exiting a zone and line crossing. Line crossing, for example, supports analytics in both directions. So if, for example, a car crosses a line in one or another direction, this analytic can trigger an event, for example, opening a turnstile or a garage door, launching recording to an archive, or, for example, giving a notification.
Exactly, and I think one piece of analytics that is not mentioned here being object detection. So It's a sort of addition to the motion detection when you can specify whether you want any motion detected or a motion only detected by a certain type of object, like a person or a car. So speaking of these basic analytics, they do require GPU. So this analytics is happening on the server because it's a little bit more advanced, and we can help you with assessing the server configuration if you need analytics.
I can also mention in addition that you can regulate certain parameters of analytics through a camera, like for example sensitivity, when you don't need to detect small objects and you want to detect only bigger ones. There is plenty of settings actually in the analytics, and you can tailor them to your needs.
Yes, exactly. On those videos you can see that they're taking from the web interface, and you can see there are settings and the ways to adjust those settings in the UI. And now we are going to cover the most advanced stuff.
Yes.
The facial and number plate recognition. So this type of analytics is similar because it's advanced. It does require GPU. It is licensed per camera, and it comes into play typically when you want to organize access control at your premises. It's not possible to do on the camera because even if you put a lot of resources and good CPU and RAM on the camera needs to do the analytics against a database of photographs, or it needs the information about the employees that is only stored on the server, so it matches those parameters, and it's virtually impossible to do on the camera. So it's done on the server side using our AI model, and Dmitry will cover a little bit more on this.
Yes, on this testing video it shows workers live using camera and turnstile. When workers enters a zone and their face is recognized, analytics sends a signal through a controller to open a turnstile. That would allow workers to have an access to an area. Also, I have to mention that in this case we're using third-party camera that is connecting to our platform through OnVIF.
Yeah, the fact that all the analytics is run on the server maybe not that bad, given that you can use third-party equipment, so you're not locked with specifically Eltex cameras. But speaking of hardware, the controller, the IPAER20, is the only one piece here that is required. We do not support at this moment third-party controllers, so if you want to organize access control system, this part here is a must. And from the management side, for the system administrator or system manager, here is the UI where all the magic happens behind the scenes. So what is going on this video?
Well, from the management side, on this video you see a list of photos that can be comprised and joined for groups. These photos may belong to workers, visitors, and other guests. If these photos are joined within a group, you can give some accesses or restrictions depending on the group you want them to. After that, you can, for example, set a custom zone on the analytics in the camera. And if a person enters this zone, their face is recognized and you get one of the set actions. For example, archive recording, notification, or opening turnstile or a door.
Yeah, notification or action.
Yes, the system is quite flexible and convenient, and adding an employee shouldn't be the problem.
Great stuff. And here, next step, extending advanced video analytics, obviously was a license plate recognition, because here at Eltex we have more than 2,000 employees, and we have large parking areas, large parking lots where we also have access control for. So here Dmitry will tell you how the system operates.
Yes, on this video, for example, you see a parking camera. It is a real-life translation. There is a zone set on the camera, and when car enters the camera, its number is recognized and the door to a garage is opened. The number was previously added to a database, and when analytics see this number in the zone and compares it to the number in the database, it sends a signal to a controller and the garage door is opened. Also, I have to mention that in this case we're using our cylindrical camera on the outside. As you see, there is a window there, and we have quite wide range of operating temperatures on this camera.
Yeah, from -40 to +60, which probably should cover most of the use cases. And again, behind the scenes, can you tell us a little bit more how we can set up an employee's car?
Yes, we can add numbers of cars with some additional details to a list. There is a comments. Also, check an analytics, set a custom zone on a camera, and if this number of a car is recognized, one of the three events will happen. For example, archive recording, notification, or in our case, opening a garage door, as you've seen before. It is also a matter of training of our AI models to support more number plate types of countries. Right now we support 1,000 countries at the moment, but we will be adding more in future.
Yeah, this has historically been this way. These dozen of countries that Dmitry mentioned, mostly CIS countries, neighboring countries for Russia, like Kazakhstan, Belarus, Uzbekistan, Armenia, you name it. But we are going to extend the number of supported countries by adding them, by training our AI model. And if your country needs to be in this list, if you want to utilize this functionality for your projects, please reach out, and we'll be able to prioritize this.
I can also mention that this functionality is quite convenient when you have many cars visiting your territory. For example, through grouping car numbers, you can give delivery cars or emergency cars certain areas to access to, and restrict them for example, accessing a garage where only worker cars can go.
Good point, Dmitry. Thank you. And since we've done a good deep dive into the web UI, into the management part of it, now we'll see what we have for the security personnel when it comes to the video surveillance platform. So here on the left side you can see the EVI player. This is the newest addition. We actually upgraded our legacy application to the new platform quite recently, adding a lot of functionality, making it faster, making it more user-friendly. So it's offering all the same functionality when it comes to reviewing the archive and reviewing the footage as in the web interface, but it's optimized for desktop. So when you're organizing a workplace of your security guard, this is the recommended way to do the video wall and giving access to the video archive by using the desktop app, not web application. We also have a mobile client. Can you tell us more about this?
More about it. Well, we have also mobile client for Android and iOS.
This is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like. We have a real-life camera feed within this client. Also, for example, security can have checkpoint access. They can open, close, or restrict access on a certain points. And there is also accessible notification events and journals with which can security react immediately to an event happens at the facility.
Yeah, thank you. And this mobile client is available in the web in the app stores for iOS and Android at no additional charge. So if you're testing EVI platform, you're absolutely in the position to download it even today and try it out. One thing that I wanted to mention, and this is actually an answer to the question we get quite often, whether we have compatibility with third-party equipment. I somewhat mentioned that already, but I want to elaborate by saying that our cameras and NVR support ONVIF standard and RTSP protocol, which is actually the way EVI platform communicates with the camera. We also have our own proprietary protocol for a little bit more advanced stuff, but I'm not going to go into this at this point. But the idea here is that the Eltex cameras and NVRs and Eltex software is interoperable, which means that not only can you use third-party equipment with EVI platform, you can also use Eltex cameras with third-party software or third-party NVRs. I think Dmitry, because he's doing some of this testing, has something to add here.
Yes, right now we have test stand with multiple third vendor party cameras, and we have about 7 to 10 cameras right now, and they're working perfectly with our platform.
This slide here actually has a sneak peek into this test stand, where we have a bunch of third-party cameras, turnstiles, access control equipment. So you can see that this testing is actually taking place at Eltex.
Back to some more video analytics. Right now there is a video analytics roadmap, and in development we have specialized detection. For example, we have detection of protection gear. It includes helmets, glasses, masks, vests, and gloves. If our analytics will detect that some part of this protective gear is missing, it will restrict, for example, for a worker, access to some dangerous areas which can be useful for multiple cases and organizations. We also have detection of smoke and fire analytics, and it is also in development.
Yes, thank you, Dmitry. And I'd like to add that we are forming this roadmap based on your feedback, based on your requests, on your projects. Whenever you send us requirements for certain projects, we analyze them and combine them into our roadmap. These types of detections were the most commonly requested for on the Russian market and by some of the international partners, and this is how they got into roadmap. So please do not hesitate to share your requirements with us, because we are those who make the software and the hardware, and we are able to, change the way it's developed. And speaking of the development, as I said, it is historically an in-house solution. So it originated at Eltex, and Eltex premises were our playground for hardware and software. So we've come a long way, and a couple of years ago we got to the point where we were comfortable to offer this as a solution for our customers. But Dmitry will tell you a little bit more how it is used here at Eltex.
Yes, this slide you are seeing now shows our facility complex and security systems around it. With the start of the third building exploitation, we have added around 400 cameras and 230 turnstiles, controllers with turnstiles, doors, and barriers. Right now, platform includes an attendance management system for tracking staff working hours, provides access and restriction management. It has automated garage parking access, as you have seen on the video before, which is set up through our analytics and controllers. Right now, systems covers entire facility perimeter, and it monitors all events and prevents unauthorized accesses and give us control and vision on how we can improve life in our facility.
Thank you. And when we talk about our solution, we definitely need to reiterate our goals, that what we were heading at. So among these goals, which do you think are the main ones?
Well, I think that most important goals that we have achieved is building reliable and scalable video surveillance system and access control. Through this, we have gained control over processes at our facility of certain events. We have seen how the system can be scaled. It also helped us to reduce dependency on third-party software and equipment.
Yes, and even though we have a bit of a mixture of hardware here at Eltex when it comes to cameras, we have, I think I counted maybe half a dozen of different manufacturers of cameras, but they being replaced, and they're already predominantly Eltex. And myself, being on the more marketing side, I can share with you the main types of the projects we've been offering EVI platform and our hardware for, and I can highlight three main types of projects that we've been hearing over and over throughout last few months. So first type would be pure video surveillance. So no access control is required, no video analytics, just recording the feeds from the camera, maybe sometimes with a little bit of motion detection, just to save hard drive on the hard drive space. In this case, for smaller projects, the NVR would be the way to go, or EVI platform for the projects probably when you have more than 50 or 100 cameras. This is the point where NVRs are not advanced enough to host that many feeds, and getting a dedicated server may be a little bit more
convenient.
Maybe a little bit more convenient, yes. And from the hardware side, absolutely cameras and PoE switch for wiring those cameras. Another common type of project is access control without video surveillance. So this does also get required. In this case, you have 0 cameras. You would have a EVI platform on the dedicated server. The server in this case would not be that advanced, so you don't need a GPU if no camera analytics is involved, and running the managing those controllers does not take as much resources. So I'd say a server would be average for this one, not very expensive, but you would need Eltex controllers to equip checkpoints with them. So in this case, you can utilize the web UI for managing desktop, client and mobile app for viewing those access points, and get full control at your premises. And the most advanced project definitely would be the one combining all 3 modules, as I mentioned before: video surveillance, video analytics, and access control. And this is where EVI platform flourishes. And this is the idea. This is why it's called platform, because it's combining this complex solution to all 3 requirements. So in this case, you definitely have AVI platform as the basis of this solution. You may or may not use NVR. This is optional. You may just get away with using PoE switches for powering the cameras and other pieces of equipment. And controllers would also be used for checkpoints. So again, if you want to know what licenses, what equipment you need for these or other types of projects, please contact our sales department. The contact details will be available at the very end of the presentation. And in terms of the industries where these solutions can be offered to, sky is the limit. There are multiple industries. The most common would be probably offices and retail, but warehouses is also one of the types of the industries that we get inquiries from. Among these types of industries, you see very common parts. All these projects would use different types of cameras. You can see that turret or dome cameras usually used inside the buildings. Very often it is personal preference on which type you want to use, because there is no rule of thumb, if you will, but typically you get cylindrical cameras used outside and dome and turret cameras used inside the buildings. You can also see that doors are equipped with controllers turning them into checkpoints, so they all connected to a unified system of access control. And you can see that at all these projects we have organized workplace of a security guard, or building management, or you name it. It may or may not be the case for your project, but the system allows this capability of access to the video archive. And also important part of the access control system that we haven't mentioned yet is the attendance control. So this allows you to have a report on who of your employees or people in question arrived at your premises at what time, when they left, how much time did they spend there, etc. So this is important part when you want to track.
Yes, I can also mention that you can have this time control separately for each of your room, warehouse, or other building or floor. It can be set through an interactive plan, and when a worker, for example, opens a door to a certain room or building, the time management system registers it, and at the end of the day you can even download, for example, CSV table where you can see how your workers have attended.
Exactly, so the system is smart and customizable enough to give you these reports. And last but not least, I want to reiterate that we are always open for testing both hardware and software. When it comes to software, it's a little bit easier because it does not require shipping. It's a matter of minutes for us to issue a test license for you. With the hardware, it does take a little bit of a time, but please inquire, and we'll find a way, potentially through our supply chain and partner network, to provide you with test sample, test equipment. But our sales department is always there for providing you with guidance. And woohoo, we got to the points with questions. So let's check the chat and see if we have any questions. Hello, can I use video analytics with non-Eltex cameras? I think we somewhat covered that, but you can cover it again if you want.
Video analytics can be certainly used with non-Eltex cameras, as meta information is totally worked out on a server, and a server analyzes the video signal, what happens there, and sends information on the platform.
Yes, I agree that it's been tested many times that third-party cameras work seamlessly with the platform.
The second question is, what server requirements are for running video surveillance with 50 cameras? Well, I can say that depends on parameters you require from these cameras. There are many settings. For example, you can you can set these 50 cameras only for motion detection, and there is maybe significant load, but you will need absolutely different amount of AGD free space, for example, because there will be only motion detection in each of the archive. Or maybe you would have 20 cameras that only do a video without video archive recording. In this case, you can address our sales department, and they will provide you with the configuration you need for this system.
Yeah, I agree that there is a little bit not enough information here in the question, because there are other parameters and moving parts you need to know for 50 cameras, because you may store 7 days worth of footage or 3 months worth of footage, and it would be different server required for storing this amount of footage. So we do have a solution being a calculator for automatically calculating the server configuration, the server parameters. It is one way to do that, or another way to do this, as Dmitry said, reaching out to our managers, and we'll pass this to our engineers to do like a manual assessment.
Yes, we can do calculations according to your needs. Basically.
Third question, for AV software, are the licenses perpetual or subscription based? Great question, thank you. The licensing is not subscription based. You do not need to pay for the platform every month or every year. The licenses are perpetual. It's a one-off payment. It's flexible in a way that licenses can be added if you expand your project, but the idea here is that you pay only once and you keep on using it forever.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Thank you. Looks like we reached the end of our webinar. I'd like to thank you all again for joining us. The video recording will be available on our channel, and hopefully you'll join us on our future webinars.
Bye.
Bye-bye.